a long time since I lived in Hong Kong, but it suggests to me that this generation, that they're all born after the handover in 1997, don't have much hope for themselves. They feel that their prospects are poor. Their job prospects are not good. Their prospects in terms of housing are also very bad. This brings us to one of the two crucial questions about the situation in Hong Kong. The first is socio-economic, and the secondly is the attitude amongst quite a few Hong Kongers towards the Chinese. The great failing of the period since 1997 has been that no serious action has been taken to reform the Hong Kong economy. This is an economy which is still, in many respects, colonial in style. There's no serious free competition in the Hong Kong economy. It is an oligopolistic economy which is controlled by a handful of tycoons. This is the economy that was bequeathed after the handover by the British. What is needed now is a major socio-economic reform program in Hong Kong which shifts the balance of power in the Hong Kong economy and Hong Kong society away from the tycoons and towards the people.
With the Hong Kong Human Rights and Democracy Act, we reaffirm America's commitment to democracy, human rights, and the rule of law.
Clearly, the Western voice and Western opinion on the troubles in Hong Kong is influential. That is not new, because the Hong Kong population for a long time was essentially Western in its outlook, values, and Western in its attitudes. So the problem is deep because Hong Kong people are used to looking westwards. So what would be different, and what is different, is they're beginning to look to China, but it's only really the very early stages of that process. And I think that Western position on these troubles has clearly reinforced, I think, and encouraged an anti-China mentality amongst the demonstrators, because the demonstrators, some of them are carrying American flags, some of them carrying British flags, some of them calling for Trump to intervene, and so on. So there is a connection there. I'm disappointed that the American Congress and Trump have taken these measures against the authorities in Hong Kong and in China. It's obviously quite explicit interference in the affairs of Hong Kong. It reflects the new mood in America, which is grown increasingly hostile to China. I think the countermeasures that the Chinese government have introduced are very reasonable. I think the situation is very difficult. There's no point in mincing words about this. This has been going on for months, and it's involved a kind of destruction of the urban environment that is difficult to remember a parallel of this. So I don't think there is going to be an easy solution. Firstly, there needs to be a new kind of dialogue with anyone and with everybody, including some of the kids who've been responsible for the violence, because we don't want them to continue like that. So they've got to be talked and debated with and listened to. The second thing I think is that a whole new approach is required, I think, in Hong Kong. I've been always a very keen supporter of one country, two systems. I thought it was a terrific solution to the problem of the handover. But one country, two systems can't just be a formula. And the trouble, I think, is that it's by and large been a formula. It's got to be a dynamic process. It's got to take the people with it. It's got to show the capacity to reform and transform Hong Kong. And I don't think it's done that. I think Hong Kong is stuck. Hong Kong government, and above all the Chinese government, need to think again, reset, and have a very different view about where Hong Kong needs to go. We need to make a new start.